I saw a quote that said, "Engineers build bridges, artists make paintings, scientists make rockets, and teachers make them all."
I think the qualities that make a great teacher are it's a teacher that's committed to their students and always helping their students learn, being there for their students, and is very supportive of their students every step of the way.
I think that a great teacher would be, first of all, hard work, mentality. It takes a lot of effort.
I think the qualities that make a great teacher are someone who loves their job, loves the students that come through their classroom, and has a passion for making a positive impact on their lives. I think lifelong learning is important because it's how we adapt and how we improve and learn from the past so that we can do better in the future.
Okay, so my perspective on lifelong learning is, as we get older, we're constantly taking in new information, constantly changing and evolving. And it's important to always remember that we need to grow as people and to, accept new things all the time.
World Teacher Day is just not a day of celebration. It's a day of remembering teachers like, who we've had in our past.
There are so many jobs in the world that change everything. They change history, they change the way we live, they change all of it. But the foundation of every single one of those professions is a teacher. That makes teachers the building blocks of the world, and anybody who has the weight of the world like that on their shoulders definitely deserves to be celebrated.
I think we should celebrate World Teacher Day because teaching is not for the faint of heart. It's a hard job. And I think it's important that we recognize the work that teachers do put in outside of their typical hours.
We should celebrate World Teacher Day because teachers make the world go around. They're shaping future leaders, activists, doctors, and even future educators. I think that's so important to recognize the sacrifice that teachers put in by, dedicating their time to the young people in the world and making sure that they become productive members of society and just overall, setting them up for life as they get older.
The teachers at OC, I like having them because they work with you and they help you. If you're stuck in a problem or a situation, you can go to them at any time.
My experience here at OC has been great. Coming back as an adult and as a parent, just seeing the way that the professors here, they support you, they encourage you.
We love teachers.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for joining us. The power of a teacher. Imagine a world without teachers, no one to guide us through our difficult moments, no one to help us with our algebraic expressions. I don't really like math, so I needed that help for sure. No one to inspire us with fascinating stories or providing that inspiration, that encouragement that we needed in order to dream big. Sounds pretty tough, right? Well, that's not what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about celebrating our exceptional teachers. We're going to talk about World Teacher Day. Welcome to our World Teacher Day panel discussion. Today we have the honor of hosting 4 remarkable individuals, each with unique experiences and insights to the world of education. As we celebrate their tireless efforts, or the tireless efforts of teachers worldwide, our panelists will share their personal journeys reflecting on the pivotal role education plays in shaping the lives of others as well as their life and careers. Today I heard Sherry Palmer say, "The power you have today is the hope for tomorrow." And I think that resonates true in most of our lives today. Teachers make transformative and a lasting impact on the lives of others. They shape our futures. However, today we are faced with an unprecedented global teacher shortage, And it's not just across the world, but it's also in our neck of the woods. This shortage is exacerbated by a decline in their working conditions and also their status. So today I am joined by Valerie Candia, who is a freshman education major. To her left is Ruth Watson, an Odessa College early childhood teacher, as well as an education major. Today I'm also joined by Ari Granados. She is an Odessa College employee in academic partnerships and a junior education major. And to her left is Claudia Chavez, a sophomore education major. We will start by having them share their name and their opinion of what qualities makes a great teacher, starting with Valerie.
My name is Valerie Candia, and I believe a great teacher guides a student educationally, but also makes a personal relationship with them and believes in them when nobody else does, lifts them up when they're down, and carries them through the school year until the end.
Carries them until the school year or to the end. I love you sharing that. Someone that is guiding them in their aspirations as well. What about you, Ruth?
My name is Ruth Watson, and the characteristics of a teacher, I believe, is someone that is full of patience, love, and a good sense of humor. If you can't laugh throughout the day, then it doesn't help you or your environment, and especially doesn't help the children. Fun is what all children relate to, and so if you're not having fun, they're not having fun, and they're not learning.
They're not having fun and they're not learning. One of the things about me is that my teachers needed a lot of patience for sure, so I agree with that. And I think many of the employees here at Odessa College would agree, so thank you for sharing. Now, what about you, Ari?
Okay, so I personally believe that the qualities of a great teacher are definitely encouragement, to be very understanding, of course, to have patience, to be loving. The students come in the morning, they're with you almost all day. And when they leave, you want them to leave knowing that, okay, I can come back and I can be excited about going to school the next day, not, I have to see this teacher. And I mean, just being able to inspire the students to continue on further and know that, our education system, there are, how would I say, footprints, people that can leave footprints on our hearts. So I truly believe that those qualities make an amazing teacher.
And what about you, Claudia?
I think some of the qualities that make amazing teachers is definitely patience, also empathy, meeting the children at their level, understanding that they're learning the world for the first time. This is their first time going to school for a lot of them, or being in a different environment, being around different people. So understanding that I was once a little kid, or a teacher has to understand that they were a kid once too. So you want to approach them like that, and you want to approach them with, how am I going to make sure that they take this lesson away as a positive one instead of a negative experience?
And I think we've all kind of said the same thing, or you all have said the same thing about the impact of teachers and the positivity that's required. So the next question leans along the lines of what skills or knowledge do you feel that you have to have in order to, or what you found useful at Odessa College?
Some of the skills that I found useful here is definitely having to consider myself and how I would approach it if it were my kid, because I am a parent also. So how would I want someone to treat my child, and how would I want someone, when I'm answering the questions that are being asked of me, would I do this differently with someone else's kid, or would I want to approach them with the same love and respect that I would want for my child and for myself?
Always doing what's best for students. What about you, Ruth?
Here at Odessa College, I've learned how to think outside the box, attack things in ways that you may not be used to doing, getting outside of your comfort zone. And it's okay, and it works. If you're trying to reach a child that may be struggling learning, think of different ways to get to them, and come up with a game or something that connects to that child, and that will allow you to bring them to a higher level, and it'll give them so much pride when you get to see them learning something new. So I've learned that if you only think of doing things in one way, you're not going to succeed. it's important to try new things.
So I like that you said trying new things, being innovative, and most of all, you've said having fun. So what was a fun moment for you when you were a student?
I've had so much fun here at OC. Okay, I've been here since I was 19, and I started working at the Children's Center, and pretty much I've been raised by the Children's Center.
So they must be doing a good job, right?
Yeah, we're perfect. We're good at what
Rising
we do.
Star, correct? Shout out to Children's
Four
Center.
stars. But what I've learned is that is to have fun in the classes, even if you're just a college class. Have fun in it. I've had teachers that have shown me that it doesn't have to be just this is what you're learning in the book and this is how each child is supposed to react to each kind of situation, because in reality that is not true. They make it fun. They make you see things in a whole new way, and the guidance that Odessa College gives their students makes you feel so relaxed in learning.
So you feel that you can take risks without being judged? You
Yes.
feel that you can have fun and you can discover the world anew each time, right?
Yes,
Thank you for
definitely.
sharing. So memorable experiences happen all the time. So highlighting a teacher's impact on your education. Valerie, I'd like for you to share with me something that's happened in your life, a specific highlight from a teacher.
Being out of high school for years, right? Being older coming into this, it took me a long time to decide to do it because I lacked confidence. I don't want to speak about a high school teacher, elementary teacher, because that was so long ago, right? But in my life, I have had somebody named Billy Johnson who has encouraged me. I sat and I've watched him as he's gone through the system of education, being, reading teacher to different things that he's been, and now even working here at OC. He's impacted me in the way that he made me believe in myself. He made me think that I'm capable of doing this when I didn't believe I was years ago.
So the power of a teacher believing in you is what I hear. Yeah. So thank you to our Odessa College employees and faculty for the work that you all do. I think they're deserving of a round of applause. Thank you. So what about you, Claudia? A memorable experience for you?
A memorable experience that I've had with a teacher probably would go back to elementary school. I remember being in second grade and I was starting a new school, and my teacher, I think, kind of knew this already, and she definitely welcomed me with open arms and made me enjoy school. Kindergarten and first grade, I mean, you're still young, and so you're not ready for that. And she made every day, fun for me. I remember every single morning me walking into the classroom and her, "Hi, Claudia," and, greeting me with this warm smile and making me enjoy coming to school, making it somewhere where I came every day and I knew, oh, I'm going to see Miss Bowen, and she's going to talk about this, and she made me enjoy learning. So, I mean, I can remember that, and I excelled in school, all through elementary school, and she was still there. And so I always got to go back to her and tell her, I did this today, or I learned how to do this. And having her through my elementary school years definitely made elementary school a memorable experience and something that made me want to become a teacher, because I wanted someone like her in my life, or I wanted to be someone like her for someone else, for another student.
So contagious positivity.
Oh yeah, and every day, I don't know if she ever had a bad day, because I couldn't tell. I mean, she came in every day with a smile. She always had a positive demeanor, and all of the students loved her. I mean, everybody wanted to be in her class. Like, other students loved her. She was just a ray of light.
I love hearing that. When we think about teachers, they often show up to the front lines, and they're always the ones greeting you at the door, or the good ones are. So as you are thinking about your impact on society, what happens beyond graduation? What do you think about your impact as a teacher? What is it going to look like?
I'm currently working at an elementary school right now, and I'm kind of already feeling that impact of a student. They leave you little notes, or they draw you pictures with your name on it and tell you how much they love you. And sometimes, they confide in you about stuff that's going on in their lives, or something personal. And so I want to always be an impact to them and let them know that you can always help me. You can always come to me with any problems you may have, and let them know that this is a safe place. I want them to walk into my classroom and always have that be their safe place and be somewhere where they're comfortable and they're welcomed and they know they're going to be seen that day.
We had a question the other day about mental health, and I think in the spirit of positivity, we often, there are some who don't really address mental health. So as that is becoming prevalent now, what are your thoughts about that, and how can that be addressed as a teacher?
I think making accommodations for students for sure. You know, not every student's going to come with the same background as another one. Some of them are going to have emotional issues that, you know, you're going to have to work through, and you're going to have to meet them at their level, and you're going to have to talk them through it and let them know that, you know, hey, I understand you're having a bad day, or, you know, this is going on in your life. Talk to me about it. You know, what could I do? How can I make this easier for you and make the process in school? So always letting them know that if they're having something going on at home, or if they're having mental issues within themselves, that they can talk to me about it, and that, you know, the school is going to be a safe place for them to discuss those kinds of things.
That's a great answer, a safe place for our students. An open door policy, we've heard that quite a bit, but in this age, it's difficult for students to be open about those conversations. So what are your thoughts about that, Ruth?
Oh, I think it's so important to make a child feel safe wherever they are. I've been teaching for 20 years, and I've seen all kinds of children from all kinds of backgrounds, and you may not connect right away, but you'll find that moment where you can really get on their level. And most important, let them know they're safe. They're in a safe place to learn. They're in a safe place, knowing that you're going to be there for them. Most children don't get that. That's why whenever they say, you know, don't hug, I don't believe in that at all. I'm going to hug. I'm a hugger too. Yeah, I'm going to hug you because they need that. And sometimes they don't receive that. And I don't really, and I don't only, you know, I also teach at church, and it's young kids and sometimes teenagers, and I hug them as well. They need that love. They need that connection that says there's someone that cares for me. There's someone that's there for me. Then that's someone that's going to watch over me. They need that. It's important. And as long as you give that morning smile, you know, good morning, how are you? And say their name and greet them, they will receive that as positivity in their life. Something that sometimes they don't often receive.
Wow, that was amazing. Someone that cares and someone that's there for them when they need them the most. So I love that. Now, Ari, teachers contribute to society beyond just the academic learning. So what are your thoughts about that?
I truly believe that statement. You know, we are building generations. We are building future leaders, doctors, lawyers, I mean, you name it, future educators. And it's important that our children feel that they can achieve their goals, they can achieve their dreams, that anything is possible. And when we inspire them to be themselves, to be creative, we are opening the door to a whole imaginative world, really, where, I mean, like I said, they're leaving the footprint. So what are we gonna show them? Are we gonna show them a bad footprint where it will easily be washed away, or are we gonna leave a footprint where it will be fossilized? And that's what I truly believe.
A lasting impact or a lasting footprint, right? I love that. Now, we are often asked of a specific person that's impacted our lives. Now, I'd like to challenge you to think not back to elementary school, but in your journey here at Odessa College, is there a specific teacher that has made a lasting impact or that footprint that you referenced in your life?
I would have to say definitely my grandpa. People know him as Coach Granado in Odessa. Just seeing the impact, even at a grocery store, if they hear like, oh, Granado, they'll automatically be like, wait, are you related to Coach Granado? And I'm like, yes, it's my grandpa. And they're like, oh my gosh, let me tell you about Coach. I always hear about his infamous burritos that he would make. I'm like, man, Grandpa, you don't make them anymore.
You don't make them for me.
But no, just the impact that he has made in so many students' lives. I can't tell you the stories that I've heard. When I was younger, I didn't appreciate it. Even when he would come and sub, it was always like, oh my God, my grandpa's here. now I take that, I'm like, you know what, I'm happy that I got to experience what so many people said lasted a lifetime. And that love, that compassion, being able to not hear a student, but actually listen to them and listen to their stories, their backgrounds. That's something that stuck with me, and I hope to carry that legacy as a future educator.
I love that. The International Labor Organization and UNICEF came together in a joint message, and they said this: we call upon countries to ensure that teaching is transformed everywhere into a more attractive and valorized position or profession where teachers are valued, trusted, and adequately supported to meet the needs of every learner. Bold actions must be taken if we are to reverse the current decline and successfully increase teacher numbers. Teachers do go above and beyond. So, can you share a story with me, Valerie, where a teacher went above and beyond to help a fellow student succeed?
I've seen lots of good teachers, so that's hard to narrow down to one specific instance. But I would say it's the teacher that what I started with, we said the characteristics of being patient and being almost long-suffering with the student, right? And going through with them, you have to be patient, you have to be fun, you have to be all these things to influence a child. And I've seen that in different instances as far as just sticking with a child when they're down. For example, one child that has a major struggle and you don't see the home life of this child, right? And this child is struggling, but the educator comes in, which in my case, it's Mr. Johnson, just stepped in and took a leadership role with the student, watched them struggle and offered support. And it has to be frustrating to see you're putting so much into this student and almost not seeing a result immediately, right? Sometimes we're not going to see that immediate result. Sometimes it's going to be a long-term thing where you keep seeing the child that comes in that doesn't want to talk to you, right? The one that doesn't want you to reach them, and they give you that cold shoulder. But he kept on. Like she said, he kept reaching for that kid and kept reaching for that kid. And the end result is going to be positive, even if you don't feel like it. You have to endure that hard road and stick it out with the kid. And I saw that.
So you're saying you may not see the tangible results immediately,
right?
But it's that investment into
right.
the child that's lasting.
Yes.
Wow, that was amazing. So it's kind of like planting, where you put the seed into the ground and you're allowing the water and photosynthesis and all those other things to happen. And then down the road, we're going to see some growth. So thank you for sharing. Does anyone else want to add to that or share a story?
I do. Here at Odessa College, there was one teacher that went above and beyond for me specifically, Mary Hansen. Oh my goodness, an amazing teacher. And for me specifically, if there was anything that I was struggling with, or I was like having a problem, like, Mary, I can't figure it out. What is it exactly that you meant by this? What is exactly, how can I do this in my classroom? How can I implement this in my daily routines? Right there for me, every single step. She's like, okay, you have a question? Let's work that out. Let's figure this out. Oh, you know what? Your idea is better than mine. You know what? Just do what you're doing.
That's rare, right?
So she was building positivity in me as a teacher, like everything that I was doing, maybe unsure of it, because when I first started, nobody gets it right the first time. And when I was first started as a teacher, I was kind of like, ooh, am I doing it right? I'm making this up as I go. But she was one of the teachers I had that was like, oh, you're doing great. You're an amazing teacher. You're going to be perfect at this job. Oh my goodness. Mary Hansen is one of the best teachers I've ever seen here at OC. No offense to anybody, but
they're saying you haven't seen me yet. I love that.
But she's grown to be a very good friend of mine now, and I don't think I would have made it this far without her.
We love Mary Hanson. I know she's probably not here today, but
No.
she provides professional learning opportunities for our people, and she's always willing to help others. So thank you for sharing that. Ari, what about you? Going above and beyond.
I would have to say definitely Claudia Philpott. She was my English instructor when I first started college. I remember being a freshman, being nervous to go to college. I was homeschooled in high school. This shy girl was terrified when my aunt was like, "You're gonna take your first class on campus." So I just remember walking into her class, just this sweet, bubbly, energetic light. And I remember before third grade, I was intimidated of writing because of a bad experience with my teacher. She called out my paper to my entire class. After that, I shut down. I remember just feeling like I can never be a good writer. And just sharing my experience with Miss Philpott, she told me, she's like, "Ari, we all have our weaknesses, but you know what, we have our strengths as well, and you are an amazing writer." And she would stay with me after class. She went in the mornings, and I would call her crying because I didn't understand the assignments, the punctuation. She would break it down for me. She would explain it to me. And just the time that she took to make me feel like a student, even like her own child, that left an everlasting impact on me. So I'm just forever grateful for my teacher.
Thank you for sharing. And the implications of someone, a bad teacher in the third grade, set you back that far. So that's why it's important for us as educators to be that person in the gap to make sure that our Aries can become the best that they can be. Those motivators, those positive life speakers. So thank you for sharing that, because we do have to also address the bad. So as we're talking about celebrating our great teachers, we know that there are others who don't really step up at times. So in cases, I'm gonna switch or flip the script a little bit. So tell me about a bad teacher, Claudia.
And I don't want to name any names.
Yeah, don't mention names.
No, but there was at a school that I had previously worked at as a secretary, there was a teacher there who had a student who came every single day and, was always in the office and had a lot of behavioral issues. And I could just tell, she wasn't taking the time to ask him what was wrong or, what was going on at home. And there were some issues that were happening at home and outside of school. And school was the only time that he felt comfortable enough to, show these behaviors and kind of get this attention, and he knew ways to get it. He knew, if I do this and I make this mess, of course they're going to pay attention to me, or I'm going to get to go to the office and see them. So, and I would see her get really frustrated with him and, just not give him the patience and the understanding and love that he needed. And I think that's really what he needed, because he would come to the office with us and I'm like, he did this? Like he did that, or he hit someone? It was so crazy to me, because I would show him love, and the counselor in there always showed him a lot of patience and love and understanding. So I could kind of tell that his behavior issues came from his teacher not taking the time to really get, down there with him and figure out, why are you behaving like this? Did something happen? Or, did you have breakfast this morning? Did you eat dinner last night? And a lot of these kids come to school, and school's the best part of their day. That's where they know that I'm going to get to eat breakfast and lunch. I'm going to get to see my friends. I'm going to go play outside at recess and PE, and they look forward to that. And, sometimes if we're having to have a lesson that they're sitting down for a long time, that's hard for them, and you're going to get those behavior issues. And you have to understand that at the end of the day, these are still children, and I think sometimes some teachers expect every kid to behave at the same level, and a lot of kids can't do that, even on their best days. They have a lot of energy and they have to get it out, and sometimes it's in the middle of class whenever you're teaching. So I think that was an experience with the teacher where I kind of saw that I don't want to show these kind of qualities whenever I'm in the classroom.
Thank you for sharing. The social, emotional well-being of our students is a priority. Mm-hmm. And I know that when you go into the workforce, that you are going to be that bright light for students.
I hope so.
I believe it. Thank you. So my last question is, what's your perspective on the importance of lifelong learning, and how do teachers contribute to fostering this mindset? Let's start with you, Valerie.
I think we should all make lifelong learning a priority.
being older and sitting here is an example or proof that I believe that. I believe that we should always strive to learn something new, whatever age. We have to continue to develop ourselves, grow ourselves, and help other people grow too. It's not just about us. We have to share what we know, but pursuing knowledge or education is a lifelong thing. It's not something that ends.
What about you, Ruth?
I would say that personally, education has always been something instilled in my life, thanks to, I don't want to get teared up, but my father. Importance of education was very important because we're Black. And many times I would run into teachers who did not do enough, you know, and he would enforce that in me and my sister as a goal to strive for, be educated. And as I've gone on in life, I've realized that having that impact on a child's life carries with them forever. You can learn and learn. Like I said before, you're never going to get it right the first time. But as long as you have one teacher that is believing in you and building you up, you're going to get that instilled in your mind to achieve greater things. And I think that it's important for all teachers to strive to build on each child. Build them up and don't tear them down.
And don't tear them down. Ari?
I believe that, you know, education and continuing your knowledge is a key ingredient for everyone. I think we learn more and more every day, new concept, new ideas, new things. I mean, the world's ever changing. And I mean, even my aunt with my courses, I'm telling her things and I'm learning. She's like, oh, I didn't know that. Or Canva, I'm huge on Canva. My instructors know this. Just like I'm teaching my aunt how to create projects on Canva. And now she's using it in her classroom. And I mean, you want to be an inspiration, a leader. As Ruth was saying, there are so many issues that our students are facing in our educational system. And we're at the forefront. I mean, we're the face that they see when they come in the morning. We're the face that they see when they go home. We're that person that they're going to remember. Are you going to want to be remembered for the good? Or are you going to be remembered for the bad? And you're a light in this world. And you want to make sure that you're keeping that light brighting and not letting it dim in darkness.
Not letting that light dim. I like it. Claudia?
So my grandma was an educator. She was a teacher and a principal, and I mean, still to this day, she's been retired for like 30 years now, and she still has students who remember her, and they can remember her punishing them and still smile about it and talk about it because, you know, she was such an inspiration to them, and she was always encouraging, and she was in elementary school, so, you know, most of these kiddos, you know, haven't seen her in so long, and they're, oh, Miss Chavez, how are you? You know, I was telling my daughter about you the other day, and I still remember whenever this, and this happened. So I know that, you know, a teacher's role in your life is more than just, you know, 8 hours out of the day. You know, that impact sticks with you. And I can remember some of the really great times in school that I've had, and I can also remember the really, you know, hard times that a teacher maybe wasn't meeting me where I was at and maybe was expecting more of me than I could give them. And so I know that whenever I become a teacher, and even right now with some of the students that I have, I want them to be able to remember me, you know, Ms. Chavez as their teacher who was there for them and who encouraged them. And, you know, Ms. Chavez taught me how to do this, and I remember the first time that I learned that, I was with Ms. Chavez, and I want that for a student because I love that with my teachers, and I can still remember all of the great teachers that I had.
Thank you. You all did an exceptional job, and I'd like to acknowledge their contributions today with a rousing round of applause. Thank you for your heartfelt responses, because I know a teacher saved my life as a first-generation college student, and I know that story resounds with many of you today. If it wasn't for our public school system as well as higher education, our community colleges, many of us wouldn't be here today, so thank you. I would like to express our heartfelt gratitude to our admin team and Dr. Williams for allowing us to put these presentations on and to host many panels. The passionate education team or department, Dean Purvis Evans, as well as the entire OC family, your commitment to valuing our teachers in the Permian Basin has not only elevated and the educational experience, but also inspired a generation of learners. For Odessa College employees, I do have a slide that I need to share. I guess it's up there. So in order to get credit for participating today, make sure that you scan the QR code, and I believe it's asking you for your ID number. That's all you'll need to plug in, and we will make sure that you get professional learning credit as well. Again, thank you all for joining us for this presentation, and without anything else, thank you to our panelists as well.
Thank you.